The movie starts at a power plant that's beginning to melt down. They can't stop it, and it leaks all of its contents into the ocean. Next, we meet Heidi, a model influencer. Her boyfriend Ron, a photographer, is trying to help her get to 100,000 followers. He tries to get her into the water for one last picture before they lose the correct lighting, but Heidi is reluctant, saying the water is toxic and she doesn't want to get sick. But Ron is persistent, so she decides to go along with it. Once in the water, Ron makes her go further out, but he gets distracted, and something pulls Heidi under. Now Ron gets angry because he can't find her. He leaves a voice message telling her she's walking home. Later that night, there's a couple on the beach about to make out when they see Heidi laying in the sand. The guy says she's still breathing and sends his girl for help. That's when she wakes up disoriented and attacks the man, ending his life. His girlfriend returns and sees Heidi on top of her boyfriend. She tries to get her off of him, but she breaks her neck. Heidi goes home where her boyfriend is waiting. She doesn't remember anything that happened. Ron says, "Don't ever disappear on me again." Heidi runs outside to throw up. Next morning, a freelance journalist named Christopher hears of a shark attack on Venice Beach. He heads to that location to make a news report. He then sees Heidi, who was an old classmate of his, and tells her about the shark attack that left 2 victims mauled with their body parts everywhere. She gets nervous and leaves. Christopher then finds a wallet on the beach. Back at the house, Ron is photographing another more popular social media influencer named Gina G. She's there for a collaboration with Heidi. Ron hopes this will build her following. Heidi arrives late to the shoot, jealous when she sees Gina G. She forgot she was supposed to work with her today. Ron angrily tells her she better bring her A game. Getting ready for the photo shoot, she receives a call from her friend Sienna, who says she's coming to stay with her for a few nights. Heidi finds a bone in her mouth. Meanwhile, Christopher, the journalist, is investigating the shark bites, saying that they're smaller than normal. Back at the shoot, Gina hates Heidi's makeup and says she's not going to let her mess up the shoot looking like that. They start back shooting again, but Heidi is feeling left out since Ron is paying so much attention to Gina. He tells them to jump in the pool for some more photos, but Gina cuts her foot getting out, so Ron tells Heidi to go help. When Heidi walks in, Gina tells her to go get a band-aid. When she does, she picks up Gina's ankle and licks the wound. Heidi tells Gina she has a makeup tip for her, and then attacks. Ron hears Gina's screams and walks in thinking it's something else, but it's not, it's that other thing. Heidi tells Ron she's taking back control, explaining how she's going to eat his brain and his heart. She quickly finishes him off. Afterward, Heidi receives a phone call from the talent agency. They want to book her for a fashion shoot. Heidi's friend Sienna arrives at the apartment, and so does Christopher, the journalist, with the wallet he found on the beach. Sienna is a marine biologist investigating the shark attacks also, so they exchange information. Sienna thinks that the shark that killed those people is mutated from a radiation leak into the ocean. The glowing fish confirm her theory. Sienna arrives back at Heidi's apartment. They have a few drinks and dance, but something comes over Heidi and she's about to bite her friend, but suddenly she's able to control it. Heidi arrives at the next photo shoot with an obnoxious photographer who orders everyone around. Heidi has had enough, so the photographer calls the talent agency for a new model and berates Heidi and the intern until Heidi can't take it anymore. She punches him in the throat. She then bites his neck and tells the intern to leave. Sienna and Christopher are back at Heidi's apartment comparing notes. Christopher believes it's not a mutated shark, but a mutated person. That's when he gets a call telling him about 2 more bodies. This time they're in Hollywood Hills, with the same bite marks, confirming that it's not a shark. He finds a set of car keys and tells Sienna he has to follow a lead. Back at the talent agency, Heidi is being berated for losing the gig with Shelby, the obnoxious photographer. Heidi says she doesn't have to worry about Shelby anymore because she ate him. Then she runs down a list of other people that she ate. Then Heidi claims another victim. The police have the victim's car in the impound lot as evidence. Chris takes the keys he found and sees that they match. Heidi meets up with Sienna at her brother's house. Heidi sees he's attracted to her, so she takes him to the side of the house and killed him, just as Christopher shows up and tells Sienna that Heidi's the killer. They go around the back and Sienna sees her brother with Heidi on top of him. They run out of there before becoming the next victims. They go and see Sienna's old professor turned conspiracy theorist. He's also a specialist in sharks. He's predicted what the nuclear waste would do to them or the people near it. She tells him all about Heidi and how she's turning into a shark. He then gives them a cure to counteract the toxin from the bite. They go to Heidi's house to try to get some blood to activate the cure. They get it and Heidi runs away. They go back to the professor's boat, but someone eliminated him, so they grab the test tube and go. They go back to Heidi's place and pour shark food down the road to lure her back. Heidi shows up and they try to hold her down and give her the cure, but she's too strong. This causes Sierra to drop the syringe and it breaks. They escape through the back. When they get back to Christopher's place, they see that he was bit during the attack. In the morning, Sienna sees Chris is gone. He's wandering around the beach back to Heidi's place. When he arrives, Heidi tells him not to fight the change that's going on inside him. She tells him they're going to mate and make a new species that will rule the world. That's when Sienna walks in with a harpoon gun and shoots Heidi through the stomach. Sienna tries to save Chris, but Heidi removes the harpoon and says, "I'm still hungry." Heidi chases Sienna into the kitchen and gets poked up and stabbed with a harpoon. Heidi runs out and disappears. Heidi went to the beach and disappeared in the water. A month later, Christopher's in the shower and he won't talk to Sienna. He's changing. Sienna goes to see a YouTuber called Truth Jedi. He's a conspiracy theorist with more information than anybody on this topic. He gives her a phone number and tells her she's on her own. Sienna calls the number, but it's an answering service. She leaves a message about what's going on with Heidi. She goes back to Christopher's apartment, begging him to let her in, but he's at the beach trying to get the sharks to take him. Later, we see Heidi walking down Venice Beach. The movie ends when she hears a man say he just cut himself and she starts walking toward him.